Hello and welcome to the last of this 6-part series of the New Orc Codex, where I talk about all of the units individually and go through each one, give you the pros, the cons, and I compare it to the previous book. So this last section, I'm gonna talk about the 2 Lord of War choices that you have. You're only really allowed to take 1 Lord of War in your force or organisation chart, and there are 2 options in the book. In the old codex, Lord of Wars and fortifications didn't really exist. You're looking at Gaskill Thraka at the moment, the Beast of Armageddon. He's one of them, and the Stomper right there is another one of the Lord of Wars. Now I know which one I'd take. No, it's a shame that the Stomper is not a heavy support or anything like that, but it is kind of like a mini Titan in a way. It is kind of like a Titan. I mean, it's got the 12 hull points, it's got the Mega Chopper, which is a D weapon, it's got the Super Gatler, the Def Cannon, you know, and the Super Gatler's got this Super Gatling Mega Blaster rule thing that fires lots and lots of shots. I mean, it's just crazy. So that Stomper didn't exist back in the old edition. But firstly, we're going to concentrate on Gaskill. I'll show you the nice picture of him here. So Gaskill Thraka, how has he changed from the last one? Well, apart from being a Lord of War, he's apart from being an HQ in the last one, he's a Lord of War. Price-wise, he's exactly the same. All right, he's got exactly the same stats in every area, but he's got the Eternal Warrior kind of rule now, rather than he didn't have that in the last time. He's got his Mega Armor as normal, his big shooter. He's got a Cyborg body, which is just a feel no pain now, so he doesn't get his 5+ invulnerable. It's just on a 6 after you've taken a wound, you can ignore it kind of thing. So that's really crappy. He can take runts and squigs list things from there rather than just an ammo runt, so that's pretty cool. He's got this profit of Gork and Mork. Basically, if he's counts as your warlord, he can get a 2+ invulnerable save on any turn he calls a war. So he can call a war, and he can still run, even though he's got Mega Armor, which is just fantastic. So I don't know what wizardry is going on there, but he's really, really good. He's got a lot of wounds. He's tough. I mean, he's as tough as a warbiker, put it that way, and he's strong, and he's got this power claw that doubles his strength. He's got pants ballistic skill, but his weapon skill is so good, and his initiative. I mean, you get him in close combat with a Space Marine with a power sword. Like a captain or a chapter master that's got initiative 5, then yeah, he might well go down, because of course he doesn't have these invulnerable saves. So, you know, something with initiative 5 with a power weapon, well, not necessarily a power weapon, I mean like something with AP 2, not AP 3. So forget I said the power sword thing, but you get what I mean. Something with AP 2 is gonna do him a fair bit of harm, but he is a good unit, and he's a very nice model. As you've seen, they haven't changed him. I think he's now fine cast. I don't know whether he is plastic or not yet, but there we go. 225 points. He's still a very good fighty unit, and he's got a lot of things up his sleeve as well. So that's a good choice. The other Lord of War choice that we've got is probably better, in my opinion, considering that the whole game is now more shooty focused and everything. It's the Stomper. It's quite cheap as a model. I got mine for 60 when they were back at 60, and then GW obviously wanted a bit more money because they weren't making enough money, supposedly, so they wanted even more. But they're a business, so that's fine. They're there to make money. Either way, it's exactly the same model. No extra charges have been made, and probably the plastic that they're using now is so cheap. Their molds have been improved and things like that. Anyway, I'm going off on a tangent. Let's talk about the Stomper. Stomper is incredible. It's got the 12 hull points. It's got the same armor. It's got better armor actually than a Knight Titan. Again, it doesn't have very good ballistic skill, but it's got so many things it can shoot. It really has. It's got super rockets, big shooters, it's got gattlers, more big shooters, depth cannons, it's got so many things. It can also take an additional 2 super rockets, so it comes with 3. You can get additional 2, so you can have 5 super rockets on this thing. Yeah, they're hitting on 5+, but that's fine. It's got this effigy special rule, which is anything within 6 inches have fearless. 6 inches is not that much considering the size of it. So it's got the 12 hull points, it's got a lot of attacks. If it goes in close combat, it hasn't got a very good initiative at all. It's stupidly slow, like slower than an orc, alright, put it that way. Slower than a Gretchen, I believe. But either way, it's going to be hitting last, but the amount of damage that it does will just wreck anything. You want to be attacking this thing in close combat with your power, with your thunder hammers, with your power fists, even with melter bombs if you can actually strap them to it. You want to be hitting this thing with las cannons and melter weapons up close as well. Ordnance, night titans, you name it. You want to be taking this thing out pretty quick, because the damage it can do to squads of space marines and just other vehicles is horrific. It can do a lot of damage, and points wise it is quite expensive actually. I think it is more than an actual Titan, a Warhound Titan, but you're getting so many more weapons. You're getting a destroyer weapon, which you might not get on a Titan if you choose the plasma blast gun and Vulcan Mega Bolter option, which seems to be like the default now. But unless you're packing a turbo laser, double barrel turbo laser on your Titan, you're only getting 2 weapons in a way. Yeah, they're pretty decent weapons, but you're not getting a lot. You're only getting 2 shots, or two weapons to fire at two things, whereas this thing, it can fire all of its weapons at different things because it is a super heavy walker. So you've got that at least, which is great. So you've really got to weigh it up compared to a normal Warhound Titan. It's more points, but shot for shot, I would say you're getting more damage against units. You don't have anything like void shields or anything like that. It can carry 20 models, which a lot of people overlook. I don't know where it would fit them, but apparently it can carry 20 models, and people overlook that. They really do. You can put your 20 orc boys in there, and they're going to be safe with 12 hull points and armor 13. They are going to be safe. You can even kind of like repair it every turn with a mech or grot riggers or something like that. So shot for shot, I really do think that it was 60 quid, but obviously it's 70. For 70 quid, what you're getting is a model that has the potential to do more damage to littler models than a Warhound Titan. It's a little bit more expensive, but I think it does more damage. I don't think the survivability is questionable, because it can repair with the grot riggers and things, and if a mech's nearby. So it's got all those little things that can help it, whereas the Warhound Titan's only got the void shield. So survivability, it might actually survive a bit longer, and it's doing more damage, and the model's only about 70 quid, whereas Warhound Titan's about 300. It's more than £300, whichever way you look at it. It's more than £300 with the weapon options. So it's a very, very kind of cheap alternative, and you can have it in your army. Escalation, you can have it in your army. You can have your 3 squads of Gretchen and your war boss, or your mech even. So you have 30 Gretchen, a mech, and that. I think you can fit all of that in 1,000 points, but it depends on whether the other. It's a legit army, so to speak. So it depends on whether the other player allows you to do that. But I think it's an awesome model. Everybody should have one. I'd love to get a second one. I really, really would. I think they're incredible models, and they're so cheap, both in points and what you're going to get out of them. That is going to do 700 points worth of damage in a turn, I would think. It depends on what you pick, but it's definitely going to do 700 points worth of damage in 2 turns. I would put money on that right now, 700 points in 2 turns. I really would. You go after that Land Raider with Terminators in, that's going to be over 500 points there, closer to 600. So 500 points minimum. It's got the 20 models in it. You go after a couple more tanks, it soon adds up. Unless it's their go first and they fire everything in, I'm pretty sure it would last 2 turns, and it would get back its points cost, and you're getting an armor 13 shell to put your troops in, or your elites, or your big squad of mega armored knobs, because it can hold the 20, not the 12. So I think it's an incredible model, and I would like to see more on the battlefield. They're not that expensive. They're 15 less than an Imperial Knight Titan, and once I've painted it, I will be having a face-to-face between a Stomper and Imperial Knight Titan, and we'll see what happens. Yes, the Stomper is probably double the points, but I think that's going to be a good little versus video. I've started versus videos on Warhammer, that's a first. Thanks ever so much for listening to me about the Lords of War. Now I'm just going to talk about my overview of the codex, an overview of all the units and things. So Stomper is an excellent unit. It's just brilliant. Gaskill Thraka, yeah, he has his uses. In a themed army or campaign, he still would be good. The Flash Gits should be in elites, but they're excellent. Looters are excellent as kind of like Devastators, Devastator type equivalent. The Morkanaut and Gorkanaut, too pricey in points, too pricey and the model, limited usage really. You're only getting 5 hull points as well, so they're very limited usage, but they're nice models. I like the models, probably will pick one up. Killer Cans, again, lovely models, but they've just been nerfed to Kingdom Come now. Death Dreads are alright, don't expect them to take out Space Marine Dreadnoughts. Battle Wagons, very good, cheap, will protect what you want them to protect inside and deliver them fast. You can also equip them with a cannon, things like that. Mech Guns, very underrated, but they're excellent. They cost a lot for the model. I would have liked to have seen 2 for 30 quid, because I think 1 for 28 quid is breaking the bank there. But, you know, they're very cheap, underrated. They will do a lot of damage. So heavy support section, incredible section, the best section in the book. Fast attack is alright. You've got a fair few options. The best by far are the Death Copters and the Storm Boys. You've got your flyers in there as well. Trucks are very useful too. Your elite section, I'll just zoom in because I'm getting like the rules and things. So you've got your elite section. It's a good section. I would have liked to have seen more elites, more close combat type elites, rather than just the same old knobs and mega knobs. But the Mega Knobs are good models. Burner Boys and Tank Busters, they still have their specific roles. Make sure you put them in. Make sure you protect them because you're paying a premium for them. Troops, I would have liked to see more types of troops, any types of troops really, with different special rules. But you've got your boys and your Gretchen, they're your mainstay. And then your HQ, you've got a couple of special characters, and then you've got specific characters that'll just buff your army, like Pain Boys for knobs, and your HQ, mechs for your Stompers, for your Death Dreads, and your other vehicles like your Battle Wagon. You can get your custom force field going on there. So mechs are awesome. Weird Boys, they've got some really nice psychic powers, really fun to use. And you've got your standard good old War Boss that'll never change, and he's always fun to get in close combat and crack some heads. So that is my complete 6-part series of the Orc Codex and overview. I hope you have found it useful. I said before, I have been comparing it to the old one all the way through, and I've been looking at the big rule book for you know, other ideas in terms of how to use them. I've now and again flicked through the Space Marine Codex to compare them to the MEQ, which is the Marine equivalent, if you ever see that. I didn't know that until about a year ago. So that's my army. I mean, I've gone for the models that I like the look of more than whether they're very decent. I don't play competitively. I play with my mates and we have a good time. We don't go, we're not, yeah, it's nice to win, but we're not super competitive. I don't go to tournaments. I don't travel the world beating people with little you know, with armies and having the god army list or really cheesy list or anything like that. So I just like the models at the end of the day. But I hope that this has given you some insight, some more thoughts about the Orc Codex. I hope you have appreciated, or you know, how in depth I've gone into all of the units. If you have enjoyed this like 6-part series and you want me to do one for another codex like the Eldar Codex, which is would probably be more difficult, or even the Spaceman Codex, which I would love to do one on, please put your comments below. Please suggest that, and I'll happily do that, because I've really enjoyed making these videos for you, especially with the Orc release. I think that they were given some very good models, but I don't think some of the rules really helped them as much as how great the models have been, put it that way. But I still think they're an excellent army to collect. They're fun to build, they're fun to make, they're fun to play, and that's the whole goal of this. Most of the game is you're there to have fun, and you know, whether you win or lose, the main point is you have fun, and this army is guaranteed for you to have fun. It doesn't take itself too seriously, and yeah, so anyway, thanks ever so much for watching. Thanks for joining me. If you haven't already, please do comment, rate and subscribe. Take care.